All right, we're here with the Bruins basketball team as they picked up their first win of the season. Coach, first of all, congratulations. That's your first collegiate win, first one with the program. So I know that's something that you'll be remembering for years to come. What were the keys to the victory tonight for us?
At halftime, we didn't really draw anything up like a lot of coaches do at halftime. We just talked about what was in their heart, and their heart was not on the defensive end in the first half. And it really, honestly, it hasn't been so far this year for an entire half. And we just had a gut check, really. And at halftime, we came out and we decided that we weren't going to be that way. We weren't going to turn the ball over, and we weren't going to give up near as many points in the second half. And I think we did a really good job. There's always room for improvement, but I think at times we played better defensively and offensively against College of Charleston than we did tonight for long periods of time. And if we can play like we did last week against College of Charleston, I think we can really be tough to beat.
We started off with an 11-0 run, 11 to nothing, but then we kind of did this all game, and particularly in that first half, up and down, where it looked like at times we couldn't be stopped, and then other times we let them right back into the game. So what do you think it's going to take from an offensive perspective to maintain that level of consistency?
Well, part of the reason for the 11-0 run was they were just in a 2-3 zone, and when a team's in a 2-3 zone, you've got to first ask yourself why they're in a 2-3 zone, and it's usually because they're not very deep. They're trying to hide some bad defenders, and that really was the case. And you saw how tired they were in the second half when they figured out that they had to play man-to-man. So I credit our 11-0 run on really good shooting because they were wide-open shots against the zone. We're replacing a lot of scoring from last year, and that doesn't come easy. It wouldn't, no matter what. Even if you had the exact same team from last year, you've all grown as players at the beginning of the year when you're playing tough competition. It's always a tough thing to get going offensively. If you look around the country, a lot of teams really have a tough time the first month of the season really figuring out who they are on offense. And we're introducing new things, and we're going to keep doing a lot of that until we get to Christmas, and then we kind of refine where we're at and really hone what we're doing for the second half of the season. So we're continually getting better. We got paint touches tonight. When the ball goes inside and then it goes outside, that's when you're going to see some consistency. When we've been very perimeter oriented, that's when you haven't seen consistency, and I think that's what we have to do to get better is get the ball inside before it goes outside.
Jayson, we'll talk with you first. Over 20 points on the night. I don't have the final stats in front of me, but he had a big night and really were able to both score from the outside and inside free throw line. Just talk about what was working for you tonight.
Just on offense, the team was moving the ball, and I was usually in the right spot, and I was able to knock down some shots and be able to just be in the right position usually.
What do you think, as Coach was saying, defensively, what do you think the biggest changes were for us, particularly in the second half when we went on that run to kind of put it out of reach?
It was just playing with some heart. The first half, we weren't really all there mentally and physically. We just had to get together and lock in and just play defense as a team. We were all trying to do our own thing, try to guard our guy and just all by ourselves. And we got together as a team and we were able to make some stops.
All right, Dustin, let's talk about the offensive side of things. Again, Jayson with over 20 points, you with over 20 points, Nate with over 20 points. Justin had a good game, Keontae with double figures as well. And sometimes last year we got into a point where nobody really knew who the scoring threat was going to be. Tonight was kind of like that as well, as several guys stepped up offensively. How did we do it tonight?
Yeah, it was just a matter of just being aggressive. I think all of our guys did a great job about running our offense and just being in their spots and just exposing the defense, especially when they're in a 2-3. We got a lot of shooters, so we never really had a hard time scoring, especially with guys that are more of our side. But when we get up against those bigger teams, more athletic teams, it kind of makes us work a little bit more. But we just play with each other, use ball screens and stuff like that, and stuff just opens up.
Defensively, I thought we were very disciplined in the second half. I think we had 14 fouls until about 2 minutes left in the game. That's a huge difference. And talk about just the mindset you have to play good defense, play hard defense, but not play dumb defense and get fouls.
Well, Coach checked us in the locker room, made sure that are you gonna do what you said you're gonna do? Are we gonna play together? And so it just kind of hit us and like really challenged us, like, are we going to give effort? And so it just motivated us. Guys came out with a lot more enthusiasm and a lot more energy, so things would start going our way. It all starts on defense. I truly believe that defense wins championships.
All right, Coach, going from this one, obviously another tough matchup coming up on Friday. You talked about the brutal week here we have coming up next week, but first a crosstown matchup with Furman on Friday night. What do we take from this one into another tough game on Friday?
Well, I think College of Charleston helped us a little bit because they were just so big down low, and Furman has some of that same height down low, but they are a little bit more of a threat inside and outside than even College of Charleston was, at least at this point in the season. I think that's where they'll be. They have the reigning conference player of the year. It's going to be tough, but I believe coaches are always dealers in hope. And if you're a competitor, you've got to believe that you have a chance. I would never just assume that a D1's going to beat us. That's just not in my DNA. And if you look around the country, that's already happened. A couple lower division teams have either beaten Division I teams or they've given them a scare. And that's what I'm going to sell in practice tomorrow and sell before the game. Do what we do. And if we do what we do, we can have a good competitive game. And if it's close in the last 10 minutes, you never know what can happen.
All right. Thanks, guys.